as leverets. Young hares are born with eyes open and fur on, ready to sprint. They live largely alone and do not make burrows, but rest in shallow indentations in the ground, never halting, always moving. To kiss the hare's foot is to be too late for dinner, according to Brewer's Dictionary. The hare has run away, and you are only in time to kiss the print of his foot. But they are not fast enough, of course, to outrun us. There's a plane. Sorry. The number of hares in Britain has declined by 80% in the last century, in part because our relentless destruction of hedgerows killed their cover. That's very important. Don't destroy hedgerows. Between 1985 and 1997, 184,000 of the 640,000 kilometres of hedgerows that ran through England and Wales were torn out and burned. Those hedgerows that still exist are largely at the mercy of our whims and fashions and carefulness, and it takes only a very little reading of history to lose confidence in that particular trinity. There is a stretch of hedgerow in Cambridgeshire, Judith's Hedge, that is older than Durham Cathedral, older than St. James's or Buckingham Palace. It has spent 900 green and thorny years hosting life within it. Anyone seeking to tear it down would have to apply to the local council, but many young hedgerows have no protection, a proposition those who have profited from the destruction of such places should be made to live in a motorway service station their whole lives. And hares are the only game you can legally hunt all year round. We hunt them even in their mating season, when the females are boxing at would-be suitors in the fields, and shoot them in hordes, as many as 300,000 a year. We might remind each other we are perhaps slaughtering the Easter Bunny. He was a hare long before he was a rabbit. The hare was, country gossip goes, probably a fact more hopeful than technically historical. Sacred to Istra, the Saxon goddess of spring. No rabidly cute bundle of fluff then, but Istra hare. Some hares were also witches, fairy folk. In Elizabeth Gouger's astonishing children's book of 1946, The Little White Horse, a book which, written just as the war ended, revels in sugar biscuits and exquisite beauties, the hare is the finest beauty of all. They are not, a boy explains, like rabbits. A hare now is a different thing altogether. A hare is not a pet, but a person. Hares stated. A huntsman swore that he went out with a pack of hounds to hunt a hare, and not far from Julian Cox's house he at last started a hare. The dogs hunted her very close, till at last the huntsman, perceiving the hare almost spent and making towards a great bush, he ran on the other side of the bush to take her up and preserve her from the dogs. But as soon as he laid hands on her, it proved to be Julian Cox. He, knowing her, was so affrighted that his hair on his head stood on end, and yet he spake to her and asked her what brought her there, but she was so far out of breath that she could not make him any answer. The huntsman and his dogs went home presently sadly affrighted. So they were dangerous as well as beautiful. A book on folklore from 1875 told that the hare moved in close association with calamity. It was recommended that, passing a hare, you should recite, "Hare before, trouble behind, change ye, cross and free me." A Middle English poem, The Name of the Hare, offers the creatures 77 nom de plume, which you should say if you pass one to ward off ill luck. Few are complimentary. Seamus Heaney's translation has, among others, the creep along, the sitter still, the pintail, the ring of the hill, the sudden start, the shake the heart, the belly white, the lambs in flight, the gobshite, the gum sucker, the scare the man, the faith breaker, the snuff the ground, the baldy skull. The gobshite and faith breaker certainly for farmers, but they have been thought holy too. The three-hare motif appears across holy spaces in the Far East and in churches throughout Britain. Three hares running in a circle, their ears shared and entwined. Hares have long been paired with the Virgin in her portraits. We have perversely thought them both the epitome of sex and of virginity. It was for a while thought that their fertility was so profound they could reproduce without a mate. Their running bodies set up upon the roof bosses of churches call up the Holy Trinity, 1 in 3, 3 in 1, prime mover in constant motion. If beauty is enough to merit love, and we have historically reckoned that it is, then we should love the hare more than almost any other creature. The closer you get, the more beautiful. Of the 32 species, some, like the Burmese hare, are reddish-grey shading to silver. Others, like the Tibetan woolly, the colour of just cut straw. The Indian hare wears a patch of black at the back of its neck like a hair ribbon. The mountain hares in the north of Britain turn stark white in winter, real white, because the white only lasts a season, not the grubby white of most habitually white creatures. Their legs have the grandeur of Olympians, and their ears black tipped, lined in pink velvet and thin description.